that down. Let's move on to this, shall we? Sticking on the topic of Deshaun Watson and glory and victory, and none of that is associated with his name. But you know, Ryan was just alluding to what was at the time this ridiculous, record-breaking $230 million contract. But here's the catch. All guaranteed. All guaranteed. It's the highest all guaranteed contract in the history of the NFL. And the Cleveland Browns gave that to a guy who had sat for over a year, hadn't played in over a year due to suspension, was facing a whole bunch of law court appearances and lawsuits and all this kind of stuff. And they decided to sign this guy for $230 million in guaranteed. Well, surely that must have been worth it. Well, we were planning yesterday, and Ryan can attest to this. We were planning yesterday, today, we were going to do a story on Deshaun Watson because this year has been abysmal. It's been absolutely terrible for Deshaun and the Cleveland Browns, right? And so we were going to do a story today basically saying this is the worst signing in NFL history. I mean, you can talk about, you can talk about the deal for Albert Hainsworth.
Yeah.
That was a terrible one. You can talk about the Russell Wilson deal in Denver. Yeah. That was definitely a bad one.
And there's bad, draft picks like Jamarcus
all
Russell
kind of
back in the day and Ryan Leaf, but this one's
was the worst. Yeah. And then as we were getting ready to do that, CBS Sports beat me to it. As CBS Sports put out an article calling the worst signing in NFL history. Now, understand, besides the $230 million, for those of you who need a refresher on this, besides the $230 million, Deshaun Watson, this is what they gave up to get Deshaun Watson. In 2022, Cleveland traded 3 first-round picks. Football is not like a lot of other sports. First-round picks are gold. They traded 3 first-round, get this, in 2022, Cleveland traded first-round picks in 2022, 2023, and 2024 in exchange for Watson, along with a third-round pick in 2023, a fourth-round pick in 2022, and a fourth-round pick in 2024. On top of the trade, the Browns signed Watson to a 5-year, fully guaranteed $230 million contract. That was the largest contract and most guaranteed money given out in NFL history.
Does this guy I don't know much about. Does this guy levitate? I just want to make sure. Does he?
He teleports the ball directly to the end zone.
Does telekinesis thinking he can guide the ball?
Yeah.
No, you'd think, but surely you get what you pay for, right? I mean, look, we can talk about Major League Baseball and the deal that Ohtani got, but what did Ohtani do? Oh, nothing much. Just the first season, created the 50-50 club and took the Dodgers to his first playoff appearance. And by the way, he hasn't even started pitching yet. So yeah, you get what you pay for. Has Cleveland gotten what they paid for?
Pays for a lot of settlements.
Yeah.
He's keeping the Browns in the headline.
Yeah. I
mean, for heaven's sakes, last year, most of the wins the Cleveland Browns got was on the back of Joe Flacco.
Old man,
Old man Flacco.
Yep.
Who, by the way, is still lighting it up for the Colts.
Good. And I don't know if you're going to get to it, but they basically dumped Baker in the trash. And he's actually not horrible. So that was another waste of that first round pick too.
That's the other thing. They took Baker Mayfield, who had gotten them to the playoffs for the first time in ages, and then who, instead of going on injury reserve, toughed it out and played through an injury one entire year because the team needed him, and his reward was they ran his ass out of town so they could sign Deshaun Watson. Let me know right now, armchair NFL GMs, who you taking to be your quarterback right now? Baker Mayfield or Deshaun Watson? You don't even have to think about it. Obviously, you're taking Baker Mayfield, right? So what has Watson done? He's done nothing. He's done last year was Joe Flacco. Well, what's he done this year? Take a look at this. He has thrown for an average completion percentage of 60.2%, with games of 53%, 56, 64, 53, and one great game where he still only threw 176 yards of 75%. But has he thrown for 300 yards? Hell, he hasn't even thrown for 200 yards. In his games this season, he has thrown for 125, 176, 196, 186, 169. He hasn't even had a 200-yard game. He's thrown for 5 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. And by the way, you can think, well, certain numbers might look good and certain numbers might look bad. Let's look at what all the, the math wizards like. The number of the math wizards, the QBR. Okay, let's look at the QBR. I mean, Josh Allen's number 1.
He's
Joe
not
Burrow's
top 3?
number 2.
Oh, okay.
He's not top 3. Well, okay, maybe he's in the top 10. No, not in the top 10. Is Deshaun Watson in the top 15? No. Is he in the top 20? No. Where is Deshaun? Oh, there he is, number 31.
You're about to pass my name. And I don't even play.
I'm not even playing with 21.
He is leading in assaults, though.
Yeah. He has more assaults than that 21.
He leads the league in sexual assaults. Yeah. Well done.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's any way around it. When you look at what you got, which has been dead lead weight, where you're literally your backup quarterbacks have gotten you far more production and far more wins, even in old man Flacco.
Yeah.
And you're ranking amongst the bottom of everything, and you traded 3 first-round picks, 3 other picks, and $230 million guaranteed. Ryan, look, obviously the Ryan Leaf drafting, Hainsworth's contract, Wilson's contract. I don't think anything's close. I think this is the worst deal in NFL history.
It is. The thing with those guys is they had like proven record and they didn't have all the off the field issues.
Right. Yeah.
This is, you knew what the problems were and you still gave him a fully guaranteed thing, knowing what happened. Now on the Texans, he was decent. I'm not gonna say he was crap on the Texans, but he was not worth that money if you include all the off field stuff. And you're getting rid of a good quarterback you already have. All those picks, which could have helped solidify the team around Baker.
Oh, and by the way, how those picks worked out for the Texans.
Cleveland's never been good. So they're like, cool, we'll take your first round picks. I think someone said in the chat, like the GM, I'm not sure if that's the same GM they have now that did this, but he should be fired. This is a horrible, they basically debilitated their team. I looked it up and if they try to cut him, they have $170 million in dead cap.
Right. Which is why, going back to the last story, the Browns were kind of hoping that this would go to NFL disciplinary, so maybe they could have a legal out to kill his contract.
I mean, they can restructure things, but why would he restructure? Like, he's getting all this money no matter what happens. Obviously, if they did cut him, would anybody sign him after this?
And probably can you bench a $230 million
I think you just send him home. Like,
yeah, but can you do that? Can you have so much of your payroll wrapped up in a guy that you then sit on the bench? And who's their backup right now?
It's Jameis Winston.
It's Jameis Winston, who might be a better quarterback than he is.
I think he is, and they're like the same age. I think Jameis is 1 year older than him. So, and he put up good stats in Tampa, and he was the backup in New Orleans. I would give him the shot. I mean, you're seeing what's happening. He really can't be any worse than what, Watts is doing. I would give him a shot.
And in the world of poetic justice, where did the guy that they ran out of town for Watson, where did that guy end up? Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay, yeah.
Who is the backup to Watson right now? Where's he from? Or at least where did he get drafted?
Yeah,
Tampa Bay. Yeah. So it's like, kind of working out. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? I mean, maybe you're thinking this is hyperbole. It's like, John, there have been worse deals in the NFL. I contend there haven't been. This is probably the most disastrous thing. You forget even the money. Forget the $230 million guaranteed. You gave away 3 first-round draft picks for this, and you've got nothing in return. And whatever little success you've had since he's been around has usually been on the arm of a backup quarterback. I don't know. Maybe you can think of one that we're forgetting about, but whatever you guys think about this, jump down into the comments below and let us know your thoughts.